If athletes train 12 hours a day every day, they'd break. Yet many of us do that mentally. Studies from World Health Organization show that burnout affects 60% of knowledge workers in high pressure environment. So why do we do it? What if the problem isn't that we're not working hard enough, but that we've forgotten how to recover? I started going to the gym seriously 3 years ago. Before that, I thought that as long as you build your mind, it doesn't matter as much about your body. But your body and your mind is one entire unit, it's just you. And what I've learned when I'm trying to grow muscles, as they keep emphasizing how important muscles are for women and to prevent osteoporosis, stress plus recovery is equal to growth. If you miss one of the two factors, you actually will have deterioration. So, between physical and cognitive training, athletes use periodization. So, we as data scientists and software engineers should do that too. So, deep work, rest, and reflection. Anders Ericsson deliberate practice framework, his expertise develops in limited but high focus blocks, not endless hours. So, in comparison, athletes train for 4 to 5 hours a day and then spend the rest of the day recovering, like knowledge workers often invert that. So, what I do is that I would focus on work for a very long period of time and then I would go train my body through Pilates or weightlifting. And when I'm tired and I'm resting my body, I would go work on an activity from the mind. This helped me balance train the both, and the recovery of one is the working of others. So when I was working for this startup that I really believed in, and you know how startups are, extremely chaotic, you wear multiple hats, you took on incredible risks that it might not go anywhere. I'd code until midnight, I would pull all-nighters, and I wake up with SQL errors in my head, code error, and I thought fatigue meant progress, but it wasn't. And at some point, I actually did have to have a surgery, and I thought it was a good idea to work throughout my recovery, which is when I was under anesthesia, because I thought I wouldn't be wasting time. And then when I actually recover fully, and I look back on the work that I did when I was recovering from anesthesia, none of the work made sense whatsoever. So, and though I thought I was working, I was completely unproductive, and there was zero impact of what I was actually doing. It would have been more effective if I just rest, let my mind recover, and then work really efficiently, and then spend the rest of the time like really enjoying fully what I was doing or working out fully. Like, we need to add more focus, block of time to our life. And that means diversification. And that's diversifying your health, your habits, what you focus on. Like, it's not just about the brain. And when I was growing up in Vietnam, a lot of the saying emphasize on focusing on the mind rather than the body. They thought that people who had a very big body means that they're not as smart. But I think that's absolutely false. When you're slowing down, like yoga, it quiets your mind with through meditation, time outdoors, connecting with your brains. It restored both energy and clarity. So recovery didn't make me weaker, it actually made me sharper. Like, have you ever had a moment where you thought so hard about this problem and you're like, oh my god, I can't figure it out? And you actually just like went and did something else, distract yourself, or go to sleep, and you come back and you're like, oh, the answer is so simple. Well, that is recovery. Just because you're not actively thinking about that thing doesn't mean you're not subconsciously solving that problem. So there's science behind sustainable performance. Cognitive neuroscientist Matthew Walker's research shows sleep consolidates learning and pattern recognition, the exact skills that data scientists rely on, and honestly, every single career. Regular movement actually increases hippocampal volume and working memory. The intention restoration theory shows that natural environments restore directed attention and creativity. When you compare EEG of a focus fatigue versus post walk clarity, you can see that your brain is fired up more. So, your brain is hardware, and even the best algorithm crashes without cooling time. So, what I do is that I would do 90 minutes of deep focus sprints work and then 10 minutes detachment blocks, either go for a walk, grab a snack, and then during the day I would go for exercises, either that be long walks, Pilates, boxing, weightlifting. I mix it up. And then you also need to think about what you feel into your body. You, as basic as it is, but eat your vegetables. There's more to it than just fiber. There's vitamins, there's things that's good for your brain. It helps your gut system, like your gut and your brain also are interconnected because guess what? It is still under the same body. You would want to like give your eyes a break, take a bath, soak yourself in water, have a digital break, diversify what you're reading, learning about different things. So if you're super focused on just technicals, maybe it's time to read something about psychology or biology, and you will see that learning about different things is really important. Like a biological system is not fully efficient and it's not fully optimized because it always allows you to have a buffer. And this buffer is what creates risk adjustments. Like it allows you to actually prevent bad things from happening. When you crosses a certain threshold, even beyond the buffer that your brain has, then the system breaks for good, and that is not what you're looking for. And you always want to nurture that buffer zone. So conversations with colleagues and mentoring sessions made me realize that there are certain people that glamorizes working really hard, regardless of their health. And I think this is really detrimental that we're trying to tell people these days. There's a Harvard adult developmental study that found strong relationship are the strongest predictor of long-term well-being and cognitive longevity. Isolation actually drains creativity faster than exhaustion. So maybe that's why a lot of people go to libraries or coffee shops to work or study. Or now, like back in office is a thing. When I was working remotely and I was living alone at home, it was actually giving me cabin fever. Like I felt super anxious, and all I did was work, sleep, wake up, and work, and it was very unhealthy. I ended up going for walks and then learning how to ski and making friends online that I meet up to go for walks and do work with. But now that I go back in office, I genuinely feel that it adds so much more value in my life in terms of people connection, being in the environment where everyone also is focused and have hard work and we all take breaks together. It actually does make a big difference. And outdoors so important, like taking a walk in the park. If you live near nature, going hiking is great. It's like debugging for the mind. Like short nature walks improve divergent thinking and creative problem solving. I think that's partly why San Francisco, with more nature, actually has more tech companies that are being developed out there. I think there's some correlation between nature and creativity in terms of building new technology. But yeah, some of the best ideas I have is not from my laptop. It's actually going for a long walk and reflecting, and it's a combination of everything you read, listen to. So you need to design your own personal performance cycle: stress, recovery, reflection, adaptation, which is how you would grow. So design your week like an athlete designs a training plan, well thought out. And high performance isn't just about doing more, it's about sustaining excellence longer. The best athletes don't chase intensity, they master recovery, and the best technologists will do the same.